What's up, you guys? It is day 7 of my fertility injections, Gonal-F, and this is to help stimulate egg production. And yesterday I told you that I had 5 follicles that were maturing that will eventually release the egg if they're mature enough. And so my doctors were worried. They wanted to make sure that there wasn't 5 maturing at the same rate. And that's because that could be 5 potential babies. And so luckily I had 3 follicles take the lead, but that's still 3. So we're hoping that only 2 or 1 take the lead tomorrow. And so I've got 2 follicles on my left that are between 12 and 14 in size, millimeters, and then 1 on the right. And usually you ovulate between 15 and 18. And so if all goes well tomorrow during my ultrasound in the morning, so I'll do ultrasound and blood work, we will get the green light to trigger ovulation, which is with another injection that's in the fridge. And then Saturday and Sunday is the big day that we do insemination. And so basically my husband will go in the morning, give his sample, and then I go in an hour or 2 later, and it's like a pap smear. They set you up and then they insert the sample as far as they can go, past the cervical lining, and hope that Mother Nature takes its course and that the egg and the sperm meet. So there's possibility if 2 follicles are mature enough that, you know, both of those eggs could meet the sperm, and that could result in twins. But also it could be 1. Now the worst case scenario that could happen tomorrow, which I'm praying that it doesn't, is that we have 3 mature follicles, and that would be a higher risk for triplets. And so most likely our doctors will say, no, we don't want you guys to move forward with that. Go ahead and take it. And then we would just like stop our cycle, not do the insemination, wait until I get my period next month, and then we basically start the whole process over again. So the one thing that I've learned is that the fertility treatment, the medication that we're taking, has really helped my follicles grow, and it's just a lot of hormones being pumped in my body. Overall, I feel like I've handled everything pretty well. I've cried a lot, but a lot of it's from like TV shows, and like I'm just such a sap, like literally cried watching The Bachelor, proposals on The Bachelor. And then, you know, I threw up a couple times. I felt nauseous a lot, and then today I had a lot of headaches. Other than that, I'm feeling a little bit sore. I can feel like my ovaries, they're very swollen, so I can feel it when I'm moving around. I haven't worked out, which I thought it was going to be like end all be all, but honestly I've kind of enjoyed the break, and I just don't want to push my body in any way. I walk around a lot for work, so I know I'm getting movement. And yeah, I'm just trying to stay super hopeful and positive and just excited for this next step. So this could potentially be my last injection before the ovulation injection. So let's get this over with. We're pros by now. And then after, I'll show you what we're enjoying. By the way, I film all these videos at night when I look like worn out and tired and just don't care. So I apologize for my appearance, but hashtag this is real life. Did you have a hard time going in that time?
No. Why?
That stung. So since tomorrow we might be triggering ovulation, that's when you're supposed to act as if you're pregnant. So, having a glass of wine and eating sushi.
Yum.
I should probably move the Windex away from our food. Environmental hazard. So yeah, because we could be pregnant, which means I can't have sushi anymore, raw sushi, and I can't have wine. So we're just having a little celebration just in case our lives are about to change. We still won't find out if we're pregnant for like 2 weeks, but I'm still gonna be acting as if I'm pregnant until we get the test, no matter what the result is.
Good luck for us.
You don't have to sit so straight. Just relax. Babe, shake it off. Go like this. And then you'll feel better.
This is Ryan.
I'm Ashley, and welcome to our fertility journey. For those of you who have been following, thank you for the support and all the kind words and the messages and the calls and the emails. We really appreciate it. And the last clip that you saw was days 7 and 8 of our fertility injections. And unfortunately, everything took a turn the next day at the ultrasound. And we had 3 strong follicles that were growing. But then when we got to the ultrasound, how many did we have?
There was a lot. And
There were 5. So
5 potential babies.
yeah, so the risk was for multiples was extremely high for us because of our pregnancy history. We've gotten pregnant 3 times. My body just responded super well to the hormones,
Yeah, the injectables.
the injectables. So it was an aggressive approach for us, and ultimately our doctor's recommendation was to not go forward with the inseminations because of the risks of multiples. But she would have supported us either way, and we made the decision together that we were going to go for it and just take the risk. We had to do the injection for the ovulation by 10 o'clock at night because the inseminations were the next day and then the following day. And it came down to like 10 minutes, and you got...
I just couldn't do it. I wasn't comfortable. I didn't think it was the greatest decision for our family, and I was scared for my wife, and I wanted her safety, and I couldn't imagine not having you around. So it was hard for me. I didn't want that to be a potential risk.
And the other risk from our doctor was like, if you are carrying more than 1 baby, the risks for the pregnancy go high. They get higher. And
another extremely hard part was if it was 3 or 4 or 5, then typically they would make you choose to terminate one.
so it's called baby selection, and at first I thought I'd be able to handle any situation if that was in God's plan, but I honestly don't know what I would do if we were in that situation.
Yeah, that's a very tough decision that I wouldn't want to be making, so that was another reason why I just couldn't see potentially putting ourselves in that situation, which was very hard.
It was hard because there were 3 days that we didn't sleep in the same bed. We were that upset at each other. Mostly I was upset because I wanted to go for it, because in my mind I was thinking we have 5 strong follicles, let's go. Like, we've never had this many. Like, let's just take the risk and go, because the probability of us even getting pregnant is still only like 15%, and then maybe a little higher for our pregnancy history. But so I was all in and you weren't, and that was hard because in a marriage you have to make a decision for both of each other. You can't just do one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. I think we definitely grew from it and actually became closer.
Oh, dicks! Ultimately, we made the decision to not move forward, and it was very hard for me to swallow for a long time. There were lots of ups and downs in our marriage, I would say.
Yeah, we
I was very mad at him.
spent some nights on the couch, for sure.
For sure.
Was in the doghouse, but I think that it's a lot of emotional stuff to digest and get over.
And as time progressed, I started to realize his point of view and that he was coming from just his best interest for my safety, for our future family safety. So it was just hard for me because I had to be the one dealing with the injections and the hormones, and they were very aggressive. It was so hard on my body, and I just felt so in touch but out of touch. So in touch because I could feel everything, but out of touch because I couldn't control anything. And what are you looking at, bud? And so I was just mad that I felt like we did the injections for nothing, but then you reassured me that it was research, it wasn't for nothing. Because of my body responding so well to the injections, too well, my doctors were able to have me on a lower dosage for our second round of IUI, which we will share with you guys how that went. And my body definitely reacted a little bit better to the lower dose, just not as intense.
Yeah, initially she was very upset and she's like, oh, we're doing this for nothing, we're throwing it all away. And, you know, it really isn't for nothing though, because every woman's different. You never know how you're going to react. So when you do that first one, you know, maybe the dose is too high or too low and you have to adjust and find just the sweet spot. And I think that's something, you know, the doctors, they have a ton of experience in, and I think that it's definitely a safer approach than just kind of saying, hey, we got 5, let's go for it.
Well, it was still hard for me, and still is, because I feel like a human experiment, which is not the best.
Cannot say that I even remotely can put myself in her shoes, getting the injections every day and feeling all those things, and I think she's super strong for doing that.
That wraps up our attempt number 1, which was a learning experience.
To say the least. Growing experience.
And stay tuned for attempt number 2, which was very interesting, to say the least. So you guys will have to just hang on, and we will share with you our journey as it comes and goes. Sometimes the videos get uploaded later than usual just because it is emotional and it's hard to capture everything when you're living it. And I try to do my best to share the ups and the downs of the process, but we're hopeful in our current position, and we're just fighting. Feels like we're fighting for our life. Fighting for a little leg that we can't share the journey. We can't wait to share the journey with him or her one day. So for now, we've got our little fur babies, huh, Dix? Okay, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you. We appreciate all the support.